Raiders at Ravens, 10 a.m. game. 9.5-point favorites is Baltimore. The Raiders are the biggest underdogs in week 2. Not the Giants, not the Panthers. The Raiders are the biggest.
What's going on here in week 2?
Minus 9.5.
Let's see what how big of a freaking snub that is.
The next closest favorite are the Lions. The Lions are minus 7.
The Bucks, right?
Yeah. Which part of it's like, all right, the Ravens got a long week because they were Thursday night football to open. They are
Miami and Buffalo. That's going to be a tight one.
The Ravens
Carolina and Chargers, a couple of boo-boos.
Yeah.
New Orleans and Dallas, they both scored a lot of points. Okay. Indy and Green Bay. Well, I mean, Green Bay's got Malik Willis throwing out there. That might be a rough one for them. Mm-hmm. Cleveland and Jacksonville, neither one of those guys look great. San Francisco and Minnesota. Okay. Seattle and New England, that might be a freaking rough one for New England. The Jets and Tennessee, that might be a rough one for Tennessee. Washington and the Giants. Washington put up a good amount of points last week.
9.5-point favorites in week 2.
Yeah. I don't know, man.
That's an insult. That's a slap in the
Cincinnati face. At KC, the way they looked last week. Again, it's week 1, but then you have Atlanta going to Philly. Atlanta looked like freaking crap, too.
I think KC's minus 6.5 in that one.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Huh.
That's
but 9.5, that's insulting, bro. That's insulting.
Traveling across the country.
They have a long
week. They're pissed off. Hopefully AP has that line on the practice field. Just like, yeah, they think this team, this other NFL team, they have 53 players, just like us. They practice just like us. They think they're 10 points better than us. The bookies in Vegas.
That's rough, dude.
Material,
that is super rough. I can understand why they're the favorites, of course. They're an excellent team. They're at home. The Raiders are like 1-7 their last 8 East Coast games or something like that, something weird like that. It's an early start. I get it, but 9.5, that's a lot. That's a lot of points in the NFL.
It's uncanny. Injury report. Baltimore's pretty healthy. Calvin Noy had that like gruesome kind of like, I feel bad for him. That eye injury from week 1 is like kind of scary a little bit. He didn't practice. Other than that, they should be fine. Tyree Wilson, Cameron Richardson didn't practice. Jackson Powers Johnson, they're still bringing him along slowly. Colt Miller now has a knee injury. Andre James has an elbow injury. These are new as far as I know. Miller, it was the shoulder surgery, which is what kept him so long. Now there's a knee. Andre James now has an elbow issue. I don't know if that was aggravated during the game or happened during the game. Is that why he played like dog shit?
God, he played so bad.
Chargers? I don't know. So, well, again, this is Wednesday's injury report. So we'll see how that changes throughout the week. And then it's on to, obviously the biggest thing with the Ravens is former NFL MVP, Lamar Jackson.
2-time MVP, Lamar Jackson.
2-time. He looked like his regular self. 273 yards passing, no interceptions. And the scariest part, 122 yards rushing. I mean, like I said, if you just contain him as a pocket passer, he's not bad, but it's something you can handle. It's just literally everything else. Is he scrambling for time? Is he running an option? Is he running for his life? Is it a designed run? He's a handful, baby. Spillane's going to have his hands full.
If you can keep him in the pocket, he's an average passer at best. Mm-hmm. I'm an average NFL passer. I'm not saying he's an average like for, you and me. But you mix in the fact that he's just
I'd say he's slightly better than you and me.
I can rip that 5-yard out.
I don't want to give him too much credit.
5 yards is about as good as this arm's going to go. Anyway. Too many Kimuras and arm locks over at Ghazi, dude. His shoulder's shot. But if you can keep him contained, if he starts using his legs, there's nobody better, dude. Honestly, if he can start moving around, like he's Josh Allen, he's just like that, and he can hurt you in a bunch of different ways. because he's just that elusive and that fast. He's not as elusive, I don't think, as Patrick Mahomes in the pocket. So if you get pressure on him, you can be able to bring him down because Mahomes moves to just not get sacked. When Lamar moves, he moves to run the ball. It's a different mindset. And I think Mahomes is a kind of a sneaky quick, short area quickness, where Lamar is quick, but he's just blazing fast as well. We've done pretty good jobs recently. The last time we played him, he didn't have an especially great game. We were able to bottle him up, and that was with Crosby and Yannick Ngakoue, I think it was. And nobody really to speak of. Was that
revenge game for Yannick?
Yeah, and it was nobody really to speak of in the defensive tackle. We got Wilkins now, and if he can get some pressure up the middle, that's what really bothers quarterbacks. Hopefully, he can flush them out to our edge rushers coming around the corner there. But if it doesn't matter how well we play offensively, Minshew's not going to be able to keep up with a scrambling, passing Lamar Jackson. Nobody is. He was an MVP for a reason. Minshew is not MVP level. As good as he can be, he's not MVP level. And you got to if he's running around making plays, this game is going to be up to the defense to give us a chance offensively.
Yeah, you have to give Lamar Jackson that weird pressure where you're not it's not such good pressure where he just runs, because then that can also hurt you. It has to be just enough of that contained pressure where he's just kind of scatterbrained a little bit. It's like the pressure that Patrick Mahomes thrives in, Lamar Jackson doesn't really. Like you said, Mahomes likes to just kind of just edge you. He just buying time, and I'll throw. Whereas Lamar's I'm going from point A to point B, and then I'll either throw it there or run. Right? It's there's those 7 steps he takes, he's not going to throw during it. He's just going from here to here, right? So you need him to kind of it's the weirdest pressure, right? You don't want him to just run.
It's got to be a squeeze. It's got to be a slow squeeze.
Yeah. Anaconda his ass.
Anaconda squeeze. What movie is that from?
Let us know in the comment section.
Get that corn out of my face.
And it's like you said, if you can keep him in the pocket, that's the best possible place for him because he really doesn't have any weapons. Not a lot of wide receivers.
Zay Flowers is good. Zay Flowers is good. Mark Andrews likely the deep. He's got some weapons, but they're not. They're more of scramble weapons. Mm-hmm. If that makes sense.
If you give them 7 seconds to get open, they will. Right? Our boy Nelson Aguilar's there, not doing shit. They got that new tight end that had a really huge game. I don't know if that's gonna
likely. Yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna more than likely be that guy every week. But that's something you got a game plan for.
Tip your waitress. Try the veal.
And then Derrick Henry, which I thought was just a match made in heaven. Derrick Henry with this offense. Just a bruiser. Still got it. He didn't have a crazy game last week. Only 13 carries. But I think that's their plan, right? He's just as a guy who's had Derrick Henry on his fantasy off and on for 7 years. It's gives you 8 great games, and then something breaks because by then he's already got 400 carries.
Well, the issue with Derrick Henry is the second half they were playing from behind, so he wasn't really out there at all, and they were playing a lot of hurry up defense to try to tire the Chiefs out. So they were playing a lot of no huddle, they caught Chris Jones on a rotation, and they didn't huddle the rest of that drive. They weren't going to let Chris Jones back on the field. So that's one of the reasons why Derrick Henry wasn't in there. But they have to have leads to be able to, same as the Chargers. The Harbaughs want to play the same way. I think that John Harbaugh has the more dynamic quarterback, so he can do more if you allow him to. But they want to play the same way. They want to play behind their running game, and we got to be able to jump out quick. We got to be able to jump out quick. We in that environment with how pissed off they are and all the rest that they've had, and the home opener and the returning MVP returning home and all this stuff, we got to jump out to a quick lead. If we don't jump out to a quick lead, it's going to be very difficult for us to stay in the game, let alone win it.
And Derrick Henry is more aerodynamic. He doesn't have that poop coming out of the back of his head. quite as much. You know,
Cut
used
that,
to be
yeah.
like far more. And dude, if J.K. Dobbins can wear us down, if we just let him just run until he breaks, imagine what Derrick Henry's going to do. You know what I mean? Like, if they're playing with the lead and like they eventually tired out our defense with Dobbins, imagine what man-child Derrick Henry can do. You know what I mean?
Brutal.
Can't let that guy go downhill.
Brutal.
One of my matchups I really can't wait to see is Brock Bowers versus Kyle Hamilton. I think they'll put Hamilton on Bowers. I think that'd be a really fun matchup because Hamilton kind of shut down the tight end that will remain nameless last week. Like he kept him, by his standards, pretty bottled up.
3 catches, like 40 yards or something like that.
Something like that, right? Pretty quiet. This is Brock
He looks
Bowers.
like he got a fat neck over the summer. He was partying too much, I think.
Mm-hmm.
He got that like extra face down there. He got that extra
Mo face. Instead of an O face, he has a Mo face.
He got Mo face down there. He got like a
Mo face.
He went and he got an extra jowls put on there for him.
Mm-hmm.
He looking thick.
So yeah, we'll do a post-fight or post. Such in fight mode right now. Well, we'll do a post-game show right after, as always.
One of the things that is going to help the matchup Bowers and Hamilton is Bowers can line up pretty much anywhere, and to have Hamilton follow him is going to be pretty difficult because it's going to put, unless you want to just put another safety in and play 3 safeties, because it's going to open up things, intermediate and deep. If you're pulling Hamilton out from, playing deeper like he normally does, you're gonna have to pick your poison at that point. If I'm of the opinion that for us to win this game, Minshew has to throw the ball deep. He has to be able to throw the ball deep. We can't, 3 yards in a cloud of dust, like I was saying. We have to get big plays out of our passing game. In order to do that, we do need to be able to run the ball. Play action is a big part of that, but we have to get big plays out of our passing attack. Davante Adams needs to be fed over and over and over and over. Brock Bowers needs to be fed over and over when the matchup is really good. We need to find and pick and choose the spots to get Mayer the ball, to get Myers the ball. We have to stretch, elongate the defense with Tucker. Like, we have to have a solid game plan. And even if they fall incomplete, you got to throw the ball. You got to challenge these corners early, because it keeps your wide receivers engaged in the game, and it also knocks down if you're not throwing at a guy, or if you're giving a good easy plays for the corners, they're going to gain confidence as the game goes on, and we got to challenge them early.
I want to see that play action, man. Like, that's one of the reasons why you got the more agile quarterback.
You got to run the ball, man. You got to be able to run it.
2 tight ends. Look, it's kind of, I know it's always been the mentality. You have to establish the run before you can play action. That's kind of a fallacy. That's not, like, the metrics don't really, like, I understand the theory, right? Like, it certainly makes perfect sense. But all you need is a linebacker or a safety to hesitate for a split second. That's all you need. Then everything times out perfectly. It's like you're in 21, you're in 12 personnel. Like, it's play. And if you don't get people respecting the run, it kind of eliminates the point of having 2 tight ends on there, and you get those great matchups, right? Like, oh, they're going to keep running the ball. We need a heavier safety, maybe a third linebacker, and boom, there's the play action, there's the pass, right? Like, you gotta
I'll tell you something right now, dude. Yeah. Neither Mack nor Bosa was playing the run. They didn't give a shit about play action. They're like, fuck it. We're just going to pin our ears back, and if he has the ball, great. If he doesn't, we'll pull up late. So they weren't worried about that. And the guys inside were not sustaining blocks. So it was just a L all the way around.
Hey, you made it to the end of our video. Great job. I know you want more. Go ahead and click the next video. And if you're feeling crazy, go ahead and subscribe.